Isn't it a good thing that he's consistent? Why would that be a bad thing? Because we are tired of flip-floppers and people who change based on circumstances. And the world is actually looking for people who are consistent. But I think we are looking at, you know, truth and justice and reconciliation are not two different currencies. They are different sides of the same coin. That there cannot be unity without truth, unless it's an invitation that people lie to each other. I'm a fan of this African thing of let us not wash our dirty linen in public, and I've heard it so many times. But I'm also a fan of the question of why are those linen dirty in the first place, so that we put more effort in the putting away those dirty linen and hiding them than asking. Because I don't think that the guests, be it the 20-something head of states, were really the guest of that day. They had come to see Kenyans do the magic of changing power and transition. So to me, the guests were the people in the stadium and in the TV sets watching, having participated in this election. And yes, there could be a head of state, even if the Queen was there. To me, she was not the guest. The real guest that was being celebrated, that should have been spoken to, are Kenyans. But finally, I think in the same speech, remember the president left with clarity of his next assignment, which is to unite the Great Lakes region. Surely, so it cannot be a moment of revisiting, while in the same platform and in the totality, the president is being reaffirmed that you have done a good job bringing the Great Lake region together. Please continue. And so I think when we zero in on an aspect, then we miss, you know, talk of looking at the tree and leaving the forest. But finally, I think that when Honorable Gachagua spoke of history, I am a fan and I've read about the Truth and Justice Reconciliation, even in South Africa, that are there things that are unforgivable. If some of the crime touch your own humanity and you have no power to forgive, I think that everybody there found their place. But clearly, the whole idea of, you know, let us put a show for the guest is an old adage. It might work sometime, but it is the very reason why we are here, that we sugarcoat, we don't tell people the truth. I have done a lot of supervision. It begins with articulating the problem statement. You cannot do research until you have first preoccupied your time and concern, your effort with identifying the problem question. So what is wrong if the deputy president clearly articulates the problem question? The solutions come only when you have clearly identified the problem.
I think the question was, and the argument perhaps from the other side was, why this specific moment? Right. Why now? Why, you know, it was a bit rather undiplomatic to say that this should have been said at this particular moment.
This thing, it wasn't said in a foreign land. It was said in Kenya Stadium.
Fair enough.
In a Kenyan event.
All right.
He did not go to Washington and say it. So if you cannot speak in your country and move people along, then I'm wondering, where do people speak?
All right.
See,
all right.
I think one of the things that Prof should remember is that these particular problems have been identified long ago. The problems with the institutions, the problem on the kind of directives DCA was being given, the problems with EACC, these kind of institution-related issues is what Kenya Kwanza actually used as a campaign pledge long time ago. Meaning they have already identified the problem, just going by the thinking that he has introduced. So it's for them to now that they have already diagnosed the problem, give us the solution instead of. I think the way Gachagua has started, the Honorable Gachagua, he might keep giving us this kind of stories from today until 2027. I will not be surprised. And you know, in Kenya, whenever we are done with an election, the campaigns for the subsequent elections start. And I think it has already started.
I think he's playing a prophetic role, because if you know what Gachagua will be doing, then it's hard to argue with that.
Okay, look, let's move forward. So this was, let's move forward. We'll certainly not be done with that.